Welcome to Living in Glenview, your insider scoop on everything in Glenview. We're your hosts, Victoria Logley and Evan Fitzgerald, here to bring you the latest on local news, community events, stories, and what makes our town so special. Now we're going to dive into the Glenview Buzz. So there's a restaurant here in the Glen, and it's amazing. Sorelle.
Say it again.
Sorelle.
Okay, I'm going to spell it for everybody because I tried
how
to say
else
this.
to say it.
When we were planning this, we'll take you a little inside baseball here. We were planning this and we were talking about doing this like sort of restaurant review. It seems like people have really liked these. Sorelle. What did I say?
Sorrel?
Something like that?
Sorrel? I don't know.
I was immediately corrected and thank you very much. No, because
I'm not correcting.
Say it again?
Sorelle.
It sounds so much better when you
Sorelle.
say it. Okay.
I don't know how to say it in English or whatever, however you guys say
I am
it.
sure that is correct.
Like sisters.
Thank you. And I'm not even going to attempt it. What I am going to say is that we both tried it and it was great.
It was great. Yeah. Absolutely. So it's this really fun market, Italian market. It's a visual menu. So when you walk in, they have all the food laid out and you know exactly what you would like to order or want to order and what it looks appealing to you. And then you order at the bar area. You take your little number, go sit at the table, and then they bring the food over. And I took my dad, and of course, you know, my family, we're incredibly critical of Italian food because my mom was an Italian sous chef, and we never went out because we never needed to. So he loved it. He had the ossobuco. I'm a vegetarian. I didn't eat that. I had the mozzarella panini. And I know there's some things that you love to eat.
Our whole family went. I did one of the paninos. Let me see. I think.
Pomodoro?
Yeah, I think it was the pomodoro panino, which is caramelized cherry tomatoes, arugula, basil oil. Okay, what's this? What's that word?
Stracciatella.
Of course it is. Balsamic glaze and Sicilian sea salt, and it was excellent. And really fresh bread.
Very fresh. They bake it there every day. It's fresh bread.
Yeah.
In my house.
So my kids did. My son did. I want to say one of the pastas.
Pastas are great.
There were two pastas, and then my daughter is also vegetarian, and I think she did one of the salads, if I'm remembering correctly. But we were really happy. It comes up quickly,
very fast. It's so nice.
Yeah, so that was great, and there was also a lot of people eating outside at the time. And one of the things that's interesting is it's in that spot in the Glen, so it's sort of trying to give people a sense of it. It's almost strictly across from Von Mar, right?
Yes,
almost right over there.
It's a nice big outdoor space.
And that's a spot that was empty for a while.
Yes.
And so it was really nice when they first came in. I'm always nervous.
They had a bunch of retail there that didn't make it.
Yeah, I'm always nervous when new things come in because it's exciting and I really like kind of rooting for things to do well. And for a while, you saw all the business and saw people in there all the time, but they hadn't done all of their exterior signage.
Right.
And I was getting nervous. I was like, okay, what are they waiting for? And then they finally did it, and it's beautiful.
It's so well done.
Yeah.
We were there on a random Wednesday. It was packed. I mean, we were still able to find seating.
Yeah.
And there was live music.
Yeah.
There was someone there that was doing a classic Italian Frank Sinatra, and they have live music there like Wednesdays, Thursdays, maybe Sundays. It changes up depending on the week, but it is such a wonderful ambiance, welcoming, warm, and the food is excellent.
And they do breakfast as well. Obviously not every restaurant does. So the breakfast starts at 8 to 11:15. Croissants, egg bites, brioche.
Espresso, beautiful cappuccinos, very nice coffee.
Yeah, so it really is and then a lot of desserts and gelato.
Yes, the gelato's very good. Not a lot of flavors, maybe like 6 flavors, but they do it very well.
Yeah, so it was really great. And, you know, here's a tip that I would say. It's going to look busy when you go over there, but it really isn't that difficult.
And it's big. It's a nice big place. It's very easy to get in. And they also have a little market area. So if you want to buy some Italian biscotti or coffee or little even take home pastries, it's really nice because you're able to easily just quickly go in, grab your food and grab a few little treats, and then you can be on your way.
So another positive.
Yes.
We reviewed. So last month we did Ovio. And we rated in pepperonis. I think we did 3.5 out of 4. So what is is it gelato scoops? What are we rating in this week?
Panini.
Okay, so how many paninis do you give it?
I give it a 4.
4 paninis?
Yeah, I give it out of 5.
It was out of 4.
Oh, out of 4. Sorry. Okay. Well, 3.5.
3.5 paninis.
It's really damn good.
Yeah, I feel like that too. And
you should check it out if you haven't yet.
Yeah, another hopefully fingers crossed, another success story
in
all the awesome,
Glenview
yeah,
restaurants.
which is really
Absolutely.
exciting. All right, speaking of exciting, this would be at events. There's a big holiday coming up.
Yeah.
July, obviously, big celebration,
exciting.
250th. And Glenview does it up. But first, let's get into Barefoot in the Park concert series, because it's back. Free summer concerts at Jackman Park, Wednesdays from 7 to 8:30. Fun lineup this year. I know this is something you're excited about.
When the kids were little, we would go to the Barefoot in the Park every Wednesday. We pack a picnic. They have ice cream trucks, they have food trucks, and then also the dairy bars right across the street, which is very helpful. And it's just a wonderful way to celebrate summer in Glenview, and just to get out in the middle of the week and listen to music. You bring your chairs, your blankets, and the kids run around, and it's fabulous.
Yeah. So just to kind of give you guys some background, they're free. Again, free summer concerts, Jackman Park, Wednesdays from 7 to 8:30. You want to go through the lineup a little bit?
Sure. So they've got, I don't even know how to say this, Priscilla's?
I think that, yeah.
P-R-I-S-S. Priscilla's.
The note here we have is high energy, multi-genre party hits, which
I love a
works
party
for me,
hit.
yeah.
I love a party hit. Then on July 8th, which is the really big one, America's 250th birthday celebration, they're really going to bring it out. I think they've allotted like $100,000 for this, just this one evening in celebration. So that's going to be great. Then we've got July 15th, which is more classical blast, and then. So think Bach meets Beethoven and on electric guitars,
of course,
which is kind of cool, right?
Yeah, no, it's really fun. So if you're looking for something, to do, take the kids, hang out, it's super fun.
Yeah, pack a picnic and a blanket and just be on your way. It's super easy to enjoy.
With the food trucks, fun food to enjoy that way as well. Okay, so speaking of the 250th, July 4th, the celebration in Glenview is always a hit. They're for the pun included here, really blowing it out this year. So let's talk a little bit about it, because I know the fireworks show on July 4th here in Glenview is something that you and the family have been enjoying for years.
I've been doing it since we moved here, when it was originally, I don't know if anybody remembers this, at the Glenview Golf Club. That was a lot more challenging because there wasn't any parking and it was harder to get to, if you will. Obviously a beautiful area in which to see the fireworks, but just not as easy to get to and parking and all that. So since they've moved it to Gallery Park, I always brag about how wonderful a celebration it is and how easy, again, they make it with parking to be able to come and enjoy the 4th of July celebration.
And not to interrupt you, but I know you have tips for that.
I do. So the Van Mar Parking Center right here, you can park and you can actually watch it from the top of the parking garage if you really wanted to, and not go out into the Gallery Park. But there's tons of parking around here, and it's fabulous. And again, it's so easy. The show starts at 9:20 p.m. and is about 30 minutes, and they're really blowing it out. This year, they've increased the budget for the fireworks to continue and celebrate the 250th anniversary of our country. And it is just such a wonderful way to bring the family together to celebrate.
And not to be, 4th of July Ebenezer Scrooge here, but can I encourage everybody, go to the Glenview fireworks.
Yes.
Maybe don't light them off in your backyard where my dog is going to go under the bed and
there's no need for that. There's no need for that here.
There's
no need for that.
I'm not telling people what to do, but maybe we try
Absolutely.
that.
And Gallery Park is so beautiful and so vast and large. People that live in the Glen sometimes don't even need to leave their front yard, or you can maybe see it from one of the bedrooms, literally. So it is an incredible, I mean, we're so fortunate to have this incredible, fireworks display with the patriotic music. And we've been given a little inside intel that next year there very well could be an amazing drone show.
So I give you all the details. So if you are interested, in the morning, the bike parade starts at 11:15 at Harlem and Glenview Roads, and that goes right to the main parade at 11:30. And then at night, Gallery Park, as Victoria mentioned, it's 6 o'clock, live music, food trucks, and the fireworks then start around 9:20 p.m. So be ready for that. Yeah. Enjoy the 4th.
Yeah, a day full of celebrations.
Yeah, really awesome.
What does it take to run one of the largest and most robust park systems in Illinois? Our guest today knows firsthand. He manages 860 acres of land, hundreds of staff, and over $52 million budget. Under his leadership, the district has become one of the most recognized and celebrated systems in the entire country.
Let's dive in with Glenview Park District Executive Director, Michael McCarty.
You've led parks out east and down south in Virginia, and you've been here in Glenview just about 11 years. So what has made you want to stay and call Glenview your home?
Well, what really brought me out here to Glenview is family. We have a young daughter, my wife and I, and she's from Park Ridge. So she's very familiar with the Glenview area. And when this job opportunity came up, it was really an opportunity to bring our daughter back to Illinois, back to her home, be around family. So Glenview is just a special place. I actually knew about Glenview from my previous director that was in my position. Him and I were able to connect over the years, and it was always a staple, a wonderful community, a wonderful park district. So having the opportunity to apply and actually be honored to get this position was great. But more importantly, the last 11 years has been spectacular for our family. Glenview is a special place. It really is. The way people come together, the way the community comes together, all the services that we have. So it's been a thrill and it's been an honor. And every day I wake up and I get to do some amazing things in a great community.
And you plan on staying?
Yes, yeah. I plan on staying.
You're not going anywhere.
No, not going anywhere.
Well, one of the things I thought was really interesting is, way back when you got here, one of the first things that you did and you wanted to do was hear from the community, right? Yes. And so you sort of had listening tours and listened to the community about what they felt was their priorities and what was important. Can you give me a sense of what you heard from people and how that has sort of shaped the last decade of your job?
Sure. Yeah, it's very important. And I think to be successful and for the district to be successful is to really connect with people in our community on a regular basis. Yeah. So the main thing I was hearing is, one, there's great pride in the park district, yeah, in all the services that we provide, the land that we have, the resources we have, and they want to make sure that we're good stewards of that. What I heard was that they want to continue to keep that going. We had just really were on the back end of all the big planning with the Navy base closure and the Glen buildup and Park Center, and what's the future? Where do we go next to that? So it was really about making sure that environmental issues were at the forefront, making sure that we protect our natural resources, making sure that we were financially sustainable, so that we keep that history. I mean, we have a AAA bond rating for the Park District, and there's only 11 agencies in the state of Illinois that have that. But that's a tremendous value to our taxpayers. For when we take out debt, we were able to do it at a cheaper rate, and we also want to keep our tax rate low. Even though we were able to do that with a lot of programs and services with user fees. About 50% of our revenue comes from user fees, not from taxes. So it was really about making sure that we keep that legacy alive, but also address some of the bigger needs in the park district. And we're addressing one of them right now at Splash Landing, which is phenomenal.
So tell us about that. I'm so excited about that. I was thrilled to hear that we won that $2.8 million grant from the state, and that it's just getting a big overhaul, and there's some really great new attributes that you guys are incorporating. So if you could give us a little glimpse into what's to come.
Absolutely. First of all, the project's going great. And we were very fortunate. We were one of only 3 communities to receive the $2.8 million grant. And those park grants don't come along very often. And it was our first one to receive. But we're investing existing funds to take that project and revamp all of Splash Landings. Park Center's 26 years old, which is kind of hard to believe.
Yes,
and we have
and
we have 1 million visitors come through there every year.
Wow, 1 million.
1 million visitors with all the services that we have in that facility. And Splash Landings was showing its age. We wanted to stay true to, that it is a nod to the Navy base that was existing here and the pilots that flew out of here. But we really wanted to bring it up to today's standards. So we're bringing the fun and the energy. So brand new slide, brand new play features, but all new mechanicals, new pool bottoms, new gutters. That is going to make us much more sustainable, less water, less energy, better and more efficient heating systems and separate heating systems and water quality systems for all the bodies of water. But we're also going beyond with our other amenities, not just being ADA accessible, but making it more universally accessible. So going beyond what the ADA standards say, the restrooms, the entryway, everything that exists in the space will be more universally accessible. So we're excited. In mid-September, is the opening, and more to come on, how we're going to roll that out. Maybe there might be a contest of who's going to be the first one down the slide.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's so fun.
The slide's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
It's going to be some clear spots where you'll get to see people going through it. It's higher up. It's further out over the pool. So very excited.
My little pet peeve is you guys did way too
Good
of a job putting up like the graphics blocking my view to try to see in there to what's going on. I can't even find a little crack to view in there.
But you're doing a good job on social. I've watched a lot of that where you're like in the guts of the pool and with the pipes and things like that. So yeah.
It's interesting to me too, because look, I grew up, we did not have a splash landings, right? We didn't have an outdoor pool or an indoor pool. So I remember the first time walking in there just kind of being blown away by the fact that it even existed.
An indoor water park.
Right.
It is.
District.
So what's interesting to me, you talk about it showing its age. Was it more a facilities thing? Was it kind of the guts of it? You talked about all like the water quality and things. Like, what was it that made you say, hey, we really need to make a big upgrade here?
Well, one of the things that happened when we first built that, and it was, we had both the activity pool, which is where the play features, zero depth areas, and the lap lanes, all in the same system. So if we had to shut things down because one thing happened in one pool, we'd have to shut down both pools. In addition, lap swimmers like cooler water when they're swimming.
Interesting.
And the kids in the activity pool, families want to warm.
I've noticed
So
that,
finding that balance, we now are able to separate that and address that. But as we started to evaluate how to make that happen, looking at the systems and the fact that we want this to last for the next 25, 30 years, it really took some revamping. And again, our priority, one of our guiding principles related to environmental, we really looked at the filtration system and, the use of water.
I can't imagine how much water, a facility like that would use.
Yes, and our water slide, before was a drop slide. So it used to go into the body of water. This time it's going to be a run out slide. So it's on the deck, and we actually recapture some of the space. So we have more usable space for people to play in the water. So it just made more sense to just do it right.
Interesting. Yeah, no, it's fascinating to kind of think about that and conceptualize it. I'm going to keep trying to peek in.
Or we can follow you on social.
Yeah, you can follow us on social.
Yeah.
Steve Neal, our Division Director of Recreation
He's doing a
and
great job.
Services, does
Really
a great job. But over the coming weeks, you might see some
few
openings, some
little peepholes.
All right.
because there's going
I'm
to
gonna
be a lot of activity where we're coming up out of the ground now.
And the Park Center as a whole is such a great, community gathering facility, right? But it's not the only one. Can you walk us through, as you sort of conceptualize the entire Glenview Park system, what are some of the other highlights that you feel like maybe don't get as much attention that the community really does need to know about?
Sure. Glenview Park District is one of the most diverse ones in the state of Illinois. I mean, we have, if you could think of it, we probably have something, or we partner with somebody that does that. We're bounded on our east side with, historic Wagner Farm, which is, a wonderful, working farm that was
Only one in Cook County.
Yes, only one, and we have one of the largest 4-H programs in the state of Illinois. And that was a referendum project and purchase, back in 1998 that the community wanted. And then on the east side, we have the Grove, which is, a historic landmark, also a referendum in 1973. And we're celebrating 50 years there with the Grove Heritage Association. That's a unique space. I mean, people might not know that we actually have 2 cemeteries, where the Kennecotts are over at the Grove, but also the Redemptorist Fathers There's about 50 plots in the back 50 acres of the grove. So a wonderful walking area, but it's very unique. We have all of our other facilities, our 2 golf courses, 18 holes and 9 holes. We have, our ice center, our community ice center, which was also another referendum renovation project. And that's just phenomenal. We actually just had, or it was 2 Olympic ice dancing skaters. They would just do a huge clinic there.
Oh, that's awesome.
For our figure skaters.
Yeah.
And it's just wonderful to see.
I think my daughter did her 7th birthday party there.
Yeah.
8th?
Yeah, they do great
I can't remember.
parties.
Well, it's
Sorry, Gemma. I don't remember which one.
Do they do the ice bumper cars?
No. I think
Ice bumper cars.
Ice bumper cars.
yeah, they've got the
They're the only facilities in the Chicagoland area that has them, and they're a great party piece, a great team building piece.
So that was probably Dad's fault because it was kind of thrown together at the last minute. But it happens. So she doesn't. I don't think she's watching. Gemma, you're not watching, right?
Well, the next party, just let us know.
Okay, good.
We'll help
Thank
you
you.
plan it.
Thank you. Yeah, I need
We'll
the
help
help.
you plan
I need all the help I can get.
But we have we're 17 square miles as a park district, and we incorporate not just the village of Glenview, but the village of Golf. But we have parts of Niles, Skokie, Des Plaines. We have
That you manage?
in parks within those areas.
Oh, I didn't
And
realize.
one of the hidden
Other
gems-
communities. I had
Yes,
no idea.
Exactly, and we have a lot of unincorporated areas as well.
Right.
So about 61,000 people live in Glenview Park District boundaries. So I think of Dietrich Park, which is in Golf, and it's just past the Golf train station. Really wonderful park. With some of the other places that we maintain over at Flick Park, we have Sinisvet Arboretum that's been around for many years and has a lot of the original species of the Sinisvet nursery that used to exist there. And wonderful, local artist, Elisa Bonner sculpture that's in the middle of that, that arboretum. So a lot of unique spaces. Tyner Air Station Prairie and our nature center and our 40 acres of Illinois Nature Preserve.
The prairie land.
Yeah, the
right?
prairie land.
Right.
It's just a wonderful place, and I don't think people go there enough and just enjoy, the natural prairie.
Are you listening?
Yeah,
Go.
Prairie land. 27 parks, is that right?
27 parks, but we also have the parkland that is through a lease with all of our school districts.
Oh.
People might not know that, and this is how our community and our local governments work. We work together, and we're serving the same taxpayer. So we look for efficiencies all the way around. So for instance, District 34, we've had a 50-year agreement where we maintain the grounds and, the playgrounds at all of the schools in return for use of indoor space as well as outdoor space as a local park. And it saves us from having to acquire.
I don't think I realized you guys maintain the schools.
We have
parks.
4 school districts that we do that with, but we also have an arrangement with the library where we maintain the grounds there, and with-
Jackman Park.
in
is
Jackman,
there.
yes, and Jackman,
Adjacent.
yeah, that's
Like quintessential.
it is. It's driving in this morning, going to
So beautiful.
the office and seeing at 8:30 in the morning kids on the swings right at Jackman is just makes your day.
And speaking of Jackman, you guys are hosting, along with the Chamber of Commerce and the library, a big 250-year
Yes.
America celebration. And it will be held at Jackman Park
It will
on
be
July
held at
8th. Can you
July
kind of expand a little on that?
Yeah, our staff are involved in the planning process. By July 8th, we'll be reading the Declaration of Independence, and we'll also be doing. There'll be a band there that night, and lots of other kids' activities to do. I know it's right after the 4th of July, but nationwide, everybody is celebrating it on July 8th, and it's just going to be another wonderful community event. And so, if you're not able to be here for the 4th, hopefully you'll be there. For
Right.
the
A lot of people might travel, but the 8th is going to be just
Exactly.
as good.
Exactly.
Just as good.
It seems like, I was listening to you a moment ago talking about Wagner Farm, and there's an emphasis on sort of preserving and amplifying the history of Glenview within, the parks and the facilities here. Is that something that is conscious as you plan these things, and what, how in what way? How so?
Well, it absolutely is, and it comes out with it's in all of our documents of how we execute and our service of excellence, really. Our strategic planning, our comp planning. We just did an update to the master plan of Wagner Farm where we engage the community, and that helps drive our initiatives. We always want to tell the story and the history, but we also want to be connecting with residents and how they want to be connected with in today's world. So we bring in technology, and we have a whole new set of exhibits over at Wagner Farm, and we updated exhibits over at the Grove in the last few years to bring in some technology pieces. The nice part is we're also, one of the exhibit pieces over at Wagner, we have a replica of, a 19th century home, and that helps, from an ADA perspective, because you can't get in the house all the time if you have some, mobility issues. So we're able to do that, but we're able to bring in a large table that's interactive and touch screen, and really showing people, what's like to live and work on a farm.
Have you seen that connection between the community, and Glenview writ large sort of strengthened by that focus? Because it sort of does feel like it's a great way to kind of build that community feel by incorporating Glenview past, Glenview present, and bringing everybody together in that way.
Yeah, yes, we've seen that, and we do it with we have a lot of volunteers that help us out and deliver our services. It's not just staff, and it's the volunteers, the individual ones, all the way up to our elected officials that are volunteers as well. But we have 3 foundations, as well as our fundraiser group for the 4th of July, made up of citizens that help us really stay connected to what's really important. This weekend or tomorrow, we have our largest fundraiser for Glenview Park Foundation with the Firecracker Classic, and on Saturday we have our 3v3 Soccer Fest, which is another fundraiser for our foundation. 100 teams are coming in from all over the region, and then I just came back from the Grove Heritage Association's annual meeting that provides a lot of support and services and funding. And one of the things that they also do is fund a scholarship for schools that can't afford to come out to the Grove and learn about the environment, which is wonderful.
So speaking of all of these amazing programs and facilities that you manage, we've been a gold medal, or the Park District has been a gold medal finalist for 3 years now.
Yeah.
Can you please, that's incredible, and bravo. Please tell us more about that.
Well, the National Gold Medal for Excellence in Park and Recreation Administration has been around since 1965. And the Glenview Park District won it twice in the 70s. And we've been a finalist since 2009, 2019, 2024, 25, and now 26. It is the Academy Awards for what we do in parks and recreation nationwide. So it's a nationwide competition based on.
I didn't realize it was nationwide. I thought maybe it was the only state of Illinois, but it's wow,
nationwide. So we're very, very proud of what we do, and it's a rigorous process. It's run by the American Academy of Park and Recreation Administration and NRPA, National Recreation and Park Association, and the process really looks at everything that we do, from our finances, our outreach, innovation, how we manage staff, how we meet challenges over the last 3-year period. We submit all that information. They look at our strategic plan, our comp plan, our finances, and then they actually select the top 4 agencies in the country. And again, we've been fortunate to be a finalist. And the goal is to get the grand plaque, even though I feel like we are the grand plaque winners anyways.
Right. 1 out of 4 in the entire country. That's incredible.
It is pretty incredible. So we at the national conference in September, we'll find out if we're the grand plaque winner. It's done in front of like 8,000 people from around the country, and it's just like the Academy Awards. They read the winner, and so we're looking forward to that. But more importantly, the reason why we continue to apply for it, it's validation that we are the best of the best, and internally we want to be better today than we were on our best day every day, and that this is just another way we can validate it and raise the bar. You have to be accredited to go through this process. So we have our state accreditation, but we also have our national accreditation, and we're only one of 200 agencies in the country that have the national accreditation, meeting rigorous standards across the board, but also only one of 9 in the state of Illinois.
What are some of those standards that
And you have to apply every
yeah.
year? Or
So the accreditation is 5 year. Every
Okay.
5 years,
Okay.
it's a full redo. But every year we have certain areas that they look at. They look at administration. They look at finance. They look at our policies. How often are they reviewed? How often are they updated? They look at our staff management, our risk management, our legal aspects of the district, how we train staff, how we engage the community, the type of planning we do, and making sure that we have the right plans. Everything from what I said before, strategic plans, comp plans, to emergency plans. So it's around 190 different standards that we have to meet, and we update that on a regular basis.
So we always, when people are moving into Glenview, we're talking about moving into Glenview, we always sort of say, they'll say, well, where are the park, what park is around? I said, whatever neighborhood you're choosing, the odds are slim to none that there's not a park you can walk to, right?
Correct.
But which would you say, is there a park or two or a facility that you feel like maybe is underappreciated or not as well known or
Yeah.
talked about that we need to give a little bit of love to today to say, hey, go check it out, spend some time.
Sure. I said two already, which
Okay.
was like Dietrich Park, and then also the Sinnetsfeld Arboretum inside Flick Park.
Right.
But there's Indian Ridge, a wonderful park on the west side. There's also the Central Street Tot Lot, which is also very, very unique, small, but it's a hidden gem.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm a little partial to Roosevelt. I live nearby Roosevelt, and historic pieces like that. So those are the ones that I would say.
So we would love to get some insight, maybe a little sneak peek as to what is coming in the future, in the near future, for the Glenview Park District.
Well, we're currently completing our 4 pickleball courts over at Richardson Park.
Okay.
We have our 3v3 Soccer Fest that's going to happen this weekend, as well as our Firecracker Classic, fundraiser for the Glenview Park Foundation. We have some other events like Pioneer Day that a week from Sunday will be at the Grove. It's a historical event that we do. But a unique one that's coming up also a week from Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. is International Mud Day. If you like playing in the mud and
Love playing in the mud as
connecting
a
with
kid.
nature, whether you're a
Absolutely.
kid or adult, it's an actual international phenomenon. And it's third year that we're doing it, and it's a great way just to have a fun playing with all sorts of activities with the mud. We're currently embarking on an update to our strategic plan and our comprehensive master plan. In addition, we are also starting a master planning process for Gallery Park, one of our largest park facilities that we had. That was developed when the Glen was built after the base closure. So it's over 20
Are they going
years
to
old.
be revamping it, or how are you? Because
We are just
What are you-
reimagining how we take it into the future.
Okay.
Obviously, some of the facilities need to get updated, and as we do that, we like to engage the public and hear their feedback. I mean, there's lots of types of uses and people using that facility in lots of different ways. So we really want to engage with them of what it will look like for tomorrow. So and that will help us define our priorities, what needs to be reinvested in the facility. Next year, on June 22nd, will be our 100th anniversary as a park district.
wow,
So
June 22nd,
June
100th
22nd.
year anniversary for Glenview Park District.
Yes.
Big things in store, big celebration.
Big celebration, year-long celebrations will be happening. We have a lot of surprises in store. Our goal is to have all these plans ready for the next century to kick it off. And we have lots of public engagement that will be going on. We just finished up our community-wide survey. In addition to that, you probably heard the news that the village purchased the Signode site.
Yes, we would
Yes.
love to know what's happening there, because there's been a lot of back and forth and what is going to be done. So has it been decided?
Well, it hasn't fully been decided yet,
Okay.
but the significance of that property, as a park district, we've identified several properties throughout the community, because our goal is to have a park within a 10-minute walk of every resident. And that's an area that is underserved to the north and to the east across the tracks. And we want that neighborhood feel. So when this opportunity came up, and this is a true testament to how this community works, we come together and try to solve problems collectively. So the village having the courage to purchase that site and recognizing that for it to be open space and active recreation, what that means to a community is just absolutely tremendous. It's currently, the village approved a demolition contract. The demolition has begun. They've done some remediation, and that's going to continue. That's going to probably continue for the next 6 months. And over the next several months, the village has engaged with a planning firm to work with us, with the school districts, to see how best the uses can come together.
How many acres is it again? Remind
It's
me.
56 acres.
I didn't realize it was that big. 56 acres. That's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. Communities don't get this opportunity very often, and for this to come along at this time, we have some tremendous needs of, the neighborhood park elements, playgrounds, tennis courts, walking paths, open space, but also there's needs for synthetic athletic fields, whether it's for soccer or baseball, and some indoor training space for synthetic fields.
It'll be an indoor facility too.
That's what our hope would be.
Okay.
We're also have racket sports. We need to expand our paddle and platform tennis, but also a need for more pickleball courts.
Well, I was going to say pickle.
And maybe some padel or some squash as well. So, but once we get into knowing exactly what land we will be able to acquire through the village, then we'll continue to do our outreach to make sure that all comes together. So we're very excited.
Very excited.
I think it's wonderful for our community, and just again, another testament why Glenview is such a great place to live.
So I was sort of thinking about this. When you look at the totality of all of the parks and facilities that you maintain, it's vast, right? So can you walk me through all of the, not specific numbers necessarily, although you probably know them, but all the people, the machinery, everything that it takes to keep this all running on a day-to-day basis? Because I got to imagine that it's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it.
It is. I mean, we're 17 square miles, 848 acres. We have 125 full-time staff, and at our peak, we have 1,000 staff. Like right now,
in the middle of summer.
In the middle of summer, we have 300 lifeguards, around 300 plus, camp staff that are taking care of, by the end of the summer, over 4,000.
My daughter is a swim instructor over at Roosevelt for the last 3 years. She's loved it.
Oh, that's phenomenal because
Great job, Tasha.
Yeah, we are the largest employer of youth.
Yeah, it's amazing. It truly is.
Yeah, and
the training and the way that you bring the youth together is.
On our indoor space, we have over 500,000 square feet of indoor space that we maintain. We have like 18,000 volunteer hours a year to help run all of our programs, whether that be coaches, docents, support staff doing restoration work at our facilities. It's just it runs the gamut. I mean, it's a job or a district that you never get bored at. It takes what I always say to my staff is that although we're maintaining land, we're in the people business, and it starts with making sure that we take care of ourselves so they can do the best job possible. And they truly believe it. They believe and commit to our vision every day, which is to create a community where everyone enjoys happiness, health, and an appreciation of nature on a daily basis. And
it's a great motto: happiness, health, and appreciation of nature on a daily basis. I love that.
I didn't want to put him on the spot and make him do all the numbers, but he obviously knew all the numbers. I was giving you a little leeway to be vague, but nope.
Oh, sorry.
Every single one of them.
This is my favorite topic.
Yeah, right.
So yeah.
You could really tell that you love this community so much, and that you're doing an incredible job managing such a enormous organization. I mean, is there a bigger one here in Glenview? I don't think so, public or private. I mean, private maybe not, but.
No,
even
that. I mean, the District 34 is one of our biggest partners.
Yes.
They're a large organization as well. It just takes. I have a lot of times I think that I have the easiest job where everybody else makes me look good. They're the stars. I have a wonderful elected board that really believes in the mission of the park district, and they're committed. That's a 6-year term, and that takes a lot of time. And they spend a lot of time doing their job as commissioners. So it's a blessing, and I'm honored to be here.
Mike, thank you so much for joining us today and for giving us an insight as to what it is like to maintain and run such an incredible facility here in Glenview. And we're so happy that you could join us as our guest.
Well, thank you very much for this opportunity. I love talking about the Park District and really enjoyed this conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Living in Glenview. Don't forget, subscribe and share this podcast with your friends and neighbors.
And if you have story ideas or you know of someone that would be a great guest, please connect with us on social or send us a message. And until the next episode, we'll see you in Glenview.